What is going on, YouTube people? Two live streams in a week. Two live streams in a week. The one the other night was kind of impromptu. This one I had been thinking about doing for most of the week, kind of just depending on how things went today. But I figured we just kind of pop on and just chit chat about NBA free agency so far. Old KD coming out with the trade demand right out of the get. I'm not surprised by it, to be honest, but that one caught me off guard a little bit. No one's really switched teams too much yet today. I was just kind of scrolling through things. It's mostly been guys just staying with their current roster. Kyle Anderson's like one of the big names to actually change teams. Going to Minnesota, that's not a bad little pickup. Lou Dort getting 90 million was a little surprising to me. I'm not going to lie there. That one caught me a little off guard. See if Kyrie has a home or not. I assume he'll end up somewhere. I wonder if the KD trade request kind of slows things down in the NBA market as a whole. When I say market, I'm talking free agency market. I remember like when LeBron and all those guys were free agents, it kind of held the league hostage and no one wanted to do a ton of big deals till that got sorted out. But this free agency class is a little weak. When Lou Dort's getting 87 million, and I like Lou Dort, he's a good actual NBA player. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we could chat about whatever you guys want to tonight. But focus will be on NBA free agency. I don't think there has been any. What's up, Dakota? I don't think there has been any major players changing teams yet. Kyle Anderson's probably the biggest one, I think, for guys that actually switched from one team to another. Which is, like I said, that's a nice little pickup for the T-Wolves. Lou Dort to the moon. Lou Dort's bank account went to the moon. I mean, that's assumed done, Brunson to New York, but it's not official yet. I don't think that's actually officially been signed, but that would be another one. That feels like a drastic overpay. 110 million for Brunson seems like a lot. But I also think Dallas really screwed up the Brunson thing right from the get. What's up, Simon? What's up, Joshua? But yeah, they kind of butchered the Brunson contract. They could have had him on the cheap multiple times and kind of messed that one up. So I mean, the question of the night, what's up, Blade, is where do we think KD is going? I mean, he gave his list. Lifelong Spurs fan, and I don't really get the Murray trade. It feels like the Spurs are 100% full-blown rebuild. 100%. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacob Puddle gets traded at some point in time. I could potentially see Keldon Johnson getting dealt, depending on what they want to do there. But I think if you're going to go rebuild, you got to tear it all the way down. And they said Popovich is on board. Everyone wants, and I'm going to blank on his name, Wembayana, I think. The French guy in next year's draft is regarded as like an insane prospect. What's the most I'm paying to keep Sexton? I would get into the range of the Jalen Brunson contract. Maybe not quite that high. I'd probably want to go well, that would be assuming a 5-year deal. I probably want to be 18 to 21 million on Sexton. Is probably where I want to be. Cavs will probably extend Garland later tonight. It's after midnight that they could start the rookie extensions. Zach LaVine staying with the Bulls. We'll see. Stuff like that, like the Zach LaVine stuff. I think those are the things that are going to be tied up. And I keep looking this way because I have an NBA Twitter list on my monitor over here that I keep glancing at to see if anything crazy's happened. KD back to OKC. Uh, I would like 15 to 17 million. I'd be willing to go to 20 million on Sexton because from the Cavs perspective, it's about you can't let him walk for nothing. So it's like, what are you going to get for him? And they kind of need him, to be quite honest. Their backcourt is paper thin. And I'm not a Karis LeVert believer. Best backcourt in the East. I'd have to really think about that one and like run through the teams before I like went out and just straight said yes to that. I mean, depending on what version of James Harden you're getting, Tyrese Maxey and Harden is a pretty decent backcourt. DeJounte Murray's not a good 3-point shooter. That hurts him a little bit. Trae Young can't play a lick of defense. I mean, it's up there. It's up there. I don't know if it's the best. I'd have to legit like sit down and run through the list of teams. And then right now it's tricky because so many guys are changing teams left and right. I'm not a big fan of the Bradley Beal contract. They had to give it to him. It is what it is, but I don't know. That's a lot of money for Bradley Beal. That's assuming Kyrie's going to be on the team in like 2 days. I would take Maxey over DeJounte personally. I don't strongly disagree with the Trae Young greater than Harden, but I do think I would rather have Maxey than DeJounte Murray. Maxey's really, really good. I mean, DeJounte is really, really good too, but Maxey is really, really good. Middleton's a 3, not a 2. In my opinion, anyways. I view Middleton as a 3, not a 2. Middleton's a wing. Hey, what's up, CV Sports Cards? Yeah, and I think when you say best backcourt, you need to couch that with best offensive backcourt. It's definitely not the best defensive backcourt. That was a rough look on the defensive side of things. Yeah, Kyrie is definitely a head case. Well, I don't know why my light is washing me out so much there. Oh, 1 second. Let me turn this down a little bit. Look like Casper the Ghost. There we go. A little better. Yeah, Kyrie, man. Kyrie, man. I hope he ends up on the Lakers. I'm really curious what him and LeBron would look like together. Yeah, trying to get seriously. That's what the Atlantic City's for. Speaking of, I did see slightly off topic here. I did see that the Nationals sold out of 5-day passes for the VIP package or whatever it is. I was a little surprised by that. I feel like it sold out way sooner last year, but I don't remember. And what does sell out really mean? I don't know what the capacity is between AC and Chicago. But I did see that popped out. So what's everyone's favorite KD team? I don't care about his list. I understand he has a list. It doesn't really matter to me, and I don't think it matters to the Nets. They're going to go with whatever team looks the best. I do think, though, to be fair, of the teams on his list, I think the Suns make the most sense. Some package around Ayton Bridges and $1 billion picks, I think, is pretty solid. I think it's Ayton and Bridges. That was a soft spot for Darius Baisley. I made a lot of money on Star Stock on Darius Baisley. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier with some people in Discord. Houston is the real winner today because they have a bajillion picks. A bajillion picks. I don't think Miami has enough to get it done. What's up, Ziggy? Look at Ziggy with the new name, Sports Card Show. You're throwing me off. I don't think Miami has enough to get it done. I think other teams could easily outbid Miami because all Miami has is Hero, really, and like what Duncan Robinson and a bunch of draft picks. Tons of teams can smash that offer. They can't trade Bam Adebayo for him; it's not legal. So that takes him off the plate. So, I mean, what are the Heat really giving up for him? They can't trade Bam. You have to learn how the NBA works, Dakota. They legally cannot trade Bam to the Nets. New Orleans is definitely a spicy one. You know, you could do Ingram plus some random on the bench. I don't even know if you really need to. Their salary is not that far apart. Ingram and a bunch of picks is definitely interesting. I don't think they would do Zion for him. I have a feeling Zion signs his extension here in a few hours. None of that stuff has happened yet because they have to wait till midnight. I think midnight Eastern is when the people on rookie deals can sign extensions. I mean, the money matching thing, it's kind. I mean, they'll just figure it out. To be honest, it would depend on if it's like a sign and trade or how that would work. But you could figure out the money close enough. I don't remember what they make off the top of their head, but when it's a deal that big, they just figure that stuff out. I mean, your problem there is Ben Simmons, and nobody wants Ben Simmons. Yeah, I don't think that's getting it done. I think they'd want to keep McCollum, and I don't know that the Nets would want McCollum back. If players, the Nets are going to want young guys. I mean, McCollum's not that young. I mean, having to move Simmons as part of that deal makes that extremely complicated. And I don't think they could be traded for each other. Like in a three-way. It would have to be two separate deals. But I forget that part. I forget. That's really in the weeds. OKC could put together a very interesting package for KD as well, which is like a trillion young guys and picks. KD and SGA with like Dort and all their young super long guys, throw KD in the mix. That team, I don't know that they'd be an NBA championship favorite, but they'd be fun as hell to watch. I actually, for a flyer, I don't mind the Wall signing. You know, he got the year off, maybe got a little rejuvenated. Maybe he went to Germany, got some injections. I think he just hangs out in people's chats and throws out bad NBA takes now, Shane. I could be wrong, though. I don't think the Jazz have enough to get it done. They're not going to want Rudy Gobert's $40 million contract, and I don't think Mitchell gets it there. I mean, what's Charlotte going to give up, though? That's the problem. I mean, basically assume. So here's the basis for any package. The max draft picks a team can trade is 5. So 5 picks is probably what they're going to ask for. And then you could do, I think it's 3 pick swaps in addition to the 5 draft picks. And the 5 draft picks have to be staggered because of the Stepien rule. So at minimum, you're looking at 5 draft picks and 2 to 3 swaps, probably. Because they're going to ask for the moon because KD and he's on a 4-year contract. So every team can offer that to some shape or form, depending on what their draft sheet looks like in terms of what picks they already have going out. So then it comes down to the player that you're giving up, and I don't see a player that makes sense on Charlotte. I really don't. I think Wall's definitely going to be really interesting. Yeah, and Miles Bridges, as nice as he is, even before the domestic dispute filing, claim, whatever, charge, whatever it is, even before that, that's not enough to get that deal done. You would take, so like, compare the deals. Would you rather have Miles Bridges and 5 first-round picks or Brandon Ingram and 5 first-round picks? Like, Brandon Ingram's a way better player. Now, here, Golden State is the interesting one. So Golden State could do Wiggins, Kuminga, Wiseman, Moody, and a bunch of picks. And that's actually kind of interesting. And then you would assume that they would flip Wiggins and just take the young guys. So now you're getting picks. I like Kuminga quite a bit. Moody looked really good too in limited instances. And you're getting Wiggins that you could potentially flip and a pile of draft picks. And then he would go back to Golden State, which would be just wild. What's up, BCC? Minnesota's interesting, but once again, who are you giving up? Because you're not going to trade Anthony Edwards for him. They wouldn't do that. And I don't think they would want to trade Cat for him. So then you're looking at D'Angelo Russell, and he's already been on the Nets. So, you start running through these teams, and there's just better offers out there. Unless they're doing Cat, and, would you rather have Brandon Ingram or Karl Anthony Towns? Would you rather have Mikal Bridges and DeAndre Ayton or Karl Anthony Towns? Because they're not giving up Edwards. This isn't even remotely close to enough. Bouknight 2 first and Miles? That's like not even, they're hanging up on you. Like you're legit getting hung up on with that offer. KD doesn't have to agree to anything. He's under a 4-year contract and does not have a no trade clause. So KD does not have to consent to anything. When he said he wanted out of there, he basically consented to going to any other team other than the Nets. I think they could get, I don't think Phoenix would trade Booker for him, to be honest, and I don't think they would be able to get Booker. KD has next to no say in this. KD can say whatever he wants. If he says he's not going, what's he going to sit out for 4 years? I mean, that's just not happening. Cool. And then he just doesn't make $40 million. Like, I mean, it's a 4-year contract. This isn't like AD when AD was on a 1-year deal. Usually these guys force their way out on 1-year deals, then they have leverage. He has no leverage here. Jalen Brunson official to the Knicks for $104 million. I mean, we already know you don't understand how the NBA works. KD to Boston's intriguing. Jaylen Brown and a bunch of picks. Jamal Murray and MPJ plus picks for KD. That's intriguing. The only problem with that is what does Murray look like coming off an ACL, and what does MPJ look like with a bad back? That's your biggest problem with that one. Once again, Charlotte doesn't have a viable offer unless it's LaMelo Ball, and I still don't even know if the Nets would say yes to that. I think you'd be surprised. I don't think it's Miami. Miami doesn't have enough to get it done. I think AD for KD, I don't know that it's not a potential trade. The problem there is, so the biggest issue I see there is, just my 2 cents, they don't have the picks. Lakers don't have a bunch of picks. Brunson's fine. I don't think Brunson's worth 106 million. But the problem is, how does it sucks for the Mavericks because they don't have a good way to replace him. Putting my KD PSA 10 Prism rookie. You mean Topps Chrome? I have to imagine Kevin Huerter gets moved. Baker's completion percentage. Levine sign and trade Kobe White and Patrick Williams plus picks for KD. It's not the worst one I've heard tonight. I think the Nets would give Ayton a max contract. Ayton's a really good player. What's up, Steve? Yeah, this is exactly what Michael's saying here. I think they try to move Gobert. I don't think they want to move Mitchell until the trade deadline this year. Yeah, I just don't know how this gets done either. Yeah, the problem is once you give Brunson away, you don't have him anymore. Like you just lose the asset for nothing. So you can't even trade him. Yeah, what the Mavs have done with Luka is a little interesting. You're not wrong. The Knicks clearing out, like just literally clearing out space for Jalen Brunson, is very amusing. Sorry, just rearranging things here on the old screens. I don't think KD wants to play with Kyrie anymore. I think that's apparent. Arch Manning is going to get paid. PJ Tucker to them is a pretty good fit. I actually, of the lower key guys, they have a lot of other issues. I really like the Lonnie Walker and Troy Brown to the Lakers. I've always been kind of interested in Lonnie Brown or Lonnie Walker. One second. Sorry, I had to reply back to a DM real quick. I don't know. Does Jay Wright really want to coach the Knicks though? Yeah, and then you go back and look at the stuff. I think he was really. I think that everything I've read and listened to so far, either today, mostly today, and this week has basically been Katie. I think that entire team and organization was super pissed at Kyrie for not getting vaccinated. The Bucks just need to be healthy. If Chris Middleton was healthy, I think the Bucks won the NBA title this past year. And they did, yeah. The Joe Ingles thing is kind of sneaky. My only question about the Joe Ingles thing is he had a significant injury, and I think he's going to miss most of the season. So, can he come back in enough time to knock the rust off before the playoffs start? Yeah, I think the Tyus Jones things. He was actually on the Cavs radar, I think, as a backup point guard. The Tyus Jones thing was inevitable once they traded D'Anthony Melton, which was another nice pickup for the Sixers. The Sixers are kind of actually, Harden's going to re-sign for less than what he was getting paid. He's going to redo that deal to give them a little bit of wiggle room, which is interesting. So that's a win. I think the D'Anthony Melton trade was a nice pickup. And I get that PJ Tucker's like 67 years old, but they don't need him out there for a ton of minutes. So I think he's fine for the role that he's going to have to play on that team. Oh, I forgot Cat was on that list. I thought Wiggins could be. I mean, I'm not saying like Lonnie Walker's an all-star, but Orlando makes the playoffs. That just gets tricky when you look at the East. Like, who are they replacing? Draymond. I'm not a fan of Draymond. I'm a Cavs fan, so I can't like anything that Draymond does. I'm going to go Geno Smith here. Minnesota needs to get rid of D'Angelo Russell, and they need Cat to like figure things out. Because Cat looked lost. I think the Cavs keep Sexton. Talked about this at the top. We could circle back to it because I know a lot of people just got in here. I think the Cavs keep Sexton. I just don't know where he goes. That's the problem. The two most likely destinations for him to sign a big restricted deal were the Pistons, and they drafted Jaden Ivey. So I don't see any way that they give Sexton a boatload of money with Cade and Ivey now. And then the other one was the Spurs, because some people in the Spurs front office worked with the Cavs in the past and were big fans of Sexton. And then he went there. So, or not that he went there. They're blowing it up, and I don't think you're going to blow it up just to bring in Colin Sexton. They want to tank. They want to go to zero. Mo Bamba pump and dump. I think Anthony Edwards looks pretty legit. I was a little skeptical of him last year, and then he really showed me something in the playoffs. Yeah, I kind of agree with this take. Tucker's going to be, out of focus. Tucker's going to be able to coast during the regular season, not play a ton of minutes. I agree with Blade 96-97. Hit the like button. Just gently. Just a little boop. Little boop. That's it. That's all you got to do. Wiseman's such a mystery, man. Such a mystery. I don't know. I don't know what to make of him because I didn't follow him. He hardly played college at all, I believe. I would like to see what sort of package, which it probably ended tonight because of Jaren Jackson Jr. Um, I would be very intrigued about a package that the Grizzlies could put together for KD. I don't know why they would want him. They have Green, they have Ty Ty Washington, and they have KPJ in the backcourt. I don't know why they would want Sexton. No, Thibel's still on the team for now. For now. I'm actually staying current with chat. It's a minor miracle. Rondo. I'm not saying Lonnie Walker's. I would not be buying Lonnie Walker's cards. That's a whole different story. I'm just talking like actual NBA. Oh man, if the Mavericks could get KD, that would be ridiculous. But they don't have anywhere close to the firepower to get that deal done. If they want a vet point guard, they show the young guys the ropes. They should go for Ricky Rubio. I wouldn't actually mind seeing Rubio come back to the Cavs, even though he's out for most of the season. I really liked the way Rubio played. Jacoby. That's going to be Brisket, whatever. JB, Brisket, the Brisket man. Sorry, I was just checking Twitter real quick. Yeah, Baker's gone. The Keldon Johnson pump and dump is always alive and well. He has a cult-like following. I mean, I'm just not the biggest college basketball guy. I mean, I watch them in the tournament a little bit. He's either going to be like really, really good or he's going to be a total bust. Like, he's either going to be like an all-star or Andrea Bargnani. Like, I don't think there's any in between. I don't think this is a hot take. A lot of people are speculating on this. I'm looking to go dumpster diving potentially. I have some real bad names on my save search list. I think it depends on if they could swing a trade for someone, whether it's KD or somebody else. I have not seen a rare edition slab in hand, just what I have seen on other people's channels. The slab looks fine. I don't know that I would ever actually use them. I'm a big proponent of using one of the big four. I just personally don't see the need for the pop-up grading companies. And I would probably never use one. I don't know what scenario I would ever use one of the non-big four. JB is the quarterback for this year. I saw today that the Watson thing they're saying could take a couple weeks to resolve itself. Pistons, I don't know that they're going to win a lot of games, but they're going to be a fun league pass team. I have not heard about this. Have you heard of another national bummer news about potential AC casino workers strike? No, I have not heard about this. What's the details? I mean, if you can get MPJ on a discount, I'm just saying, there's worse things you could buy out there for as cheap as this stuff is. I'm not like emptying my bank account, but I'd take a flyer on something. Yeah, I mean that's the problem. So rare edition is what, 25, 30 bucks to grade a card for a nice slab, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I have a whole one in my hands. I don't know that I want my card in an iPhone 3. Um if I want a nice slab, I'll just send it to CSG for 15 bucks. Like CSG slabs are amazing. They're great for if you just want a nice slab for a PC card, just send it to CSG for $15. And they're like actually a legitimate grading company. Yeah, they don't resell great like right now. Maybe it never changes. I don't know. But at least it's like a real grading company and have legit backing and a name in the market. So if you ever do need to sell it, it's not like you're trying to sell a card inside a paperweight. Oh yeah, Flipping Steve should have inside info on the AC worker strike if that's a thing. I think it's a little too soon. We need to. I mean, I don't think you could be picking NBA champions right now until this KD thing gets figured out. There's a little too much on the board. Goga. Yeah, like if I just want a nice card, if I just want a card, like I mean, I talked about it before. I'm considering sending my Griffey auto to CSG because I want it slabbed, and I really like their case. So I'll send it there. If I want to sell to flip, I'll send the PSA. If I want to send for an ultra quick flip, I'll send the SGC. And if it's an RPA, I'll send it to BGS. So I have a tool in the toolbox for all my needs. I have no idea, Mark. I ask myself this question every single day. There are four legitimate options. I get if you don't like one of them, there's three others. If you don't like two of them, there's still two others. I do not I do not understand the infatuation in the hobby to send your cards, PC cards in a lot of cases that might not have a lot of like actual value, might have a lot of personal value to these random companies that nobody's ever heard of before. I think Memphis could. I just don't know exactly what the offer would look like. And Jaren Jackson breaking his foot is not a good look to start talks. Yeah, the whole college situation's a mess. Yeah, I really like the new CSG subs. I have one sitting. Where's it at? Where's it at? Right here. Speak man, the myth, the legend himself, Colin Sexton, right there. Look how clear that is. You can see the reflection of the monitor in the freaking slab. And it feels like a tank too. These feel so sturdy. I agree. I think the Spurs won that deal too. The answer is hipsters. Yeah, I think it's going to be really tough to crack the top four. Health is the key question there, though. Most of these new grading companies aren't going to be alive in 10 months, let alone 10 years. It blows my mind when I go to a show and people price their SGC 10 slabs like their PSA 10s. Next big thing in the hobby is Fanatics acquiring Panini or some sort of licensing agreement. I think it's a fine fit. I think they overpaid. Murray's a good player. I don't. I mean, it depends on your purpose. I don't necessarily agree with this statement, depending on what you're doing. If you're buying to flip, buy the slab, not card. I mean, people aren't going to like that answer, but it's the truth. No, I mean, I literally directly asked the president of CCG this when I had him on 2 weeks ago, and they just said soon. Marvel Unlimited. It's $9 a month, and you get every Marvel comic book ever, with like a 6-month delay on new releases. Hold still long enough to thank my internet for us. I'm not the best with numbers. Takes me a minute sometimes. Usually got to smell smoke. I just don't know anything about hockey. No, I have not, but I am probably going to. If you guys did not see, it's in tomorrow's video. They removed the restriction on 1996, so you could send older stuff now at the $30 level. There's no more restrictions. I would take Russ. Ooh. Just the player or the team? Like, if I could pick the two players and put them on whatever team I want, I would still take Rodgers. But I like Russell Wilson's situation better. Yeah, that's their answer to everything. Soon, but we don't have a date yet. I know it's coming. I 1,000% know that it's coming. I mean, they told me it's coming. They just didn't say when. I mean, I asked them directly on the thing. I mean, I talk about this tomorrow. I think it's just them. They slowly open the door, let some stuff in, see what demand's like, open a little bit more. Because you got to remember, they still have a backlog, so they don't want to go crazy. I mean, I haven't seen that on Twitter from any legitimate source, but sure. eBay. Oh my goodness. I'm giving them slack until eBay Wallet comes out, and if eBay Wallet doesn't fix it, yeah. Once again, this is what I discussed in tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video is talking about this exact thing, and also revisiting those Prism pop counts that we talked about in Tuesday's live stream when I had Dakota on. One thing that was messed up on that, which it was the Beckett pop report. Beckett only showed 4 cards on their pop report on gem rate because of the way idiotic Beckett's pop report is set up. They've actually graded 50 cards from Prism. So it's a lot better than 4, but it's still not a lot. The current numbers were the current numbers for 21 NFL Prism were PSA at 600, SGC at 500, Beckett at 50, and CSG at 30. So that kind of gives you an idea on what the demand looks like for the grading companies right now. And I think that's a good litmus test is 21 NFL Prism. I'd rather have Daniel Jones than Sam Darnold, but they're both pretty crappy. I don't think PSA drops prices anymore until the backlog is mostly clear. I don't think that's legitimate. At least I haven't seen it anywhere legitimate. I'm out of touch with what these monster baseball contracts look like. I didn't do anything to Juan Soto. The Nationals did stuff to Juan Soto. You mean cello packs? Cellos, not hangers. I literally have Twitter up right next to me on a complete. I have a whole monitor dedicated to Twitter and NBA Twitter, and there's nothing on it about the same thing. I think it's just nonsense. No, I think it's just them being responsible in the way that they open up these service levels. They're going to keep inching the door open. They're not going to open it up wide. They're going to take baby steps with this the entire time because they don't want to overstep too far and run into a backlog situation again. Who's in trouble? Yeah, there's a lot of comics that I have my eye on that have priced down, but you got to wait for auctions because people don't want to move at current market prices. I'm not sure that I fully understand who's SGC's in trouble or PSA is in trouble. Not touching this one. I have one Bryce Harper card of a PSA 10 paper Bowman auto, first Bowman auto. I ordered 3 to cello packs. Whatever. No, not at all. You have to remember that the PSA pop report at this point in time is only express level and higher. So you're only talking about $100 cards and up, whereas the SGC population report is everything because they're only charging $30 a card and turning stuff around in 3 days. That's a big difference. A lot of people will be submitting this stuff at PSA at the $50 level and the $30 level, and those haven't hit the pop report yet. So you got to keep that in mind. If anything, I would say it's troubling that SGC does not have more cards on the pop report than PSA at this point because we're a month in and SGC has less cards and they're a third of the price with faster turnaround time than anything on the PSA pop report. You have to keep that in mind that regular service and value service stuff has not hit the pop report for 21 Prism yet. I've never been a I love Transformers, but I'm not a Transformers comic guy. Yeah, they have to walk a fine line with a backlog and not having one. It has slowed down for a while now. My last order took almost 2 months, and my ones prior to that were doing a month apiece. Because Optics unlicensed. Unlicensed baseball is. SGC is only $23 a card if you're using a group submitter. It's $30 a card if you're submitting on your own. Yeah, Durant's cards crashed hard. Would you have 4 different accounts? Only if you're using a group submitter. Not touching this one. What? Because it's not fast enough yet. The $50 level is running at about 2 months right now. Prism Football hasn't been out for 2 months yet. Prism Football's been out for what? 4 weeks? 5 weeks? Not even. My last $50 order took 9 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, and I just got that back 2 weeks ago. $50 level at PSA is a 90-day turnaround time. They're hitting it at about 60 right now. So that stuff's not on the pop report yet. No, it keeps getting pushed back. Now the rumor is late July. I'm not gonna lie, ripping the Bowman box was kind of fun. It depends on where he goes. Two separate days, two separate accounts. Oh, don't do it. Did you get any good comics? Is it getting smarter, or is it just that they literally printed that much of it? Crack it and send it to PSA, depending on the card. Sorry, I was just glancing at Twitter again, making sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, there's a billion Prism. I've heard hangers are pretty good. I don't really check F1 stuff very often. PSA announced today that there's 2.5 million cards left on the backlog. I would not want to be holding 21 Prism Wax. IMO. Opticalos are the way to go. One second. Sorry, I gotta answer a DM real quick. I've been selling some. I mean, I just spent $3,000 on comic books last week, so I can't say I'm not buying. Yeah, Mosaic stuff looks pretty solid. I will say, and once again, I talk about this in tomorrow's video. The quality control on Prism must be god awful because the gem rates are only 20. PSA gem rate on Prism 21 now is down to, don't hold me to this, I believe it was 24%. And SGC was at 28%, which is actually kind of surprising because SGC never has a gem rate higher than PSA. I would hold, I would sell the 2021 Prism and hold the 2020. That's not a video for me. Prism first off the line NBA ended at 1,500. Yeah, it's got to be bad with those gem rates. Oops, I lost my. There we go. If you're going to sit on product, 2020 is the one to sit on just because Burrow and Herbert are so good. I think the Megas are doing pretty good, and I think Hanger Boxes are doing pretty good. Blasters are a joke, and I'm not sure about Cellos. I don't have the Magic 8 Ball on this one. I like Cade. I don't mind Cade. I think, I mean, I don't know. On a card that sells often, I don't think it's really that much different. It just depends on uh, who it is. I kind of want to rip, speaking of wax, I'm intrigued by this year's Topps Chrome baseball. I was hoping some more deals would get signed tonight, but it's been crickets since last two. Oh, Andre Drummond to the Chicago Bulls. Sorry, Bulls. I love this timing. I love this day. You just sit and stare at NBA Twitter for just hours on end waiting for nonsense to happen. I love the NBA offseason. I don't know if they did or not. The Prism preview image still shows, like on Evan Mobley, a USC court in the background. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the only reason I even ripped those Fanatics blasters were because I got them for retail price. You know, I get the content out of it, whatever. I thought I would at least pull one decent card. Sheesh. I don't know anything about soccer. This isn't my thing. I'm not saying it's not a thing, but not for me. Not saying that you can't do well with it, but I don't think bins are really moving right now. If you're talking about like the last month or so, basically the only way stuff's selling is at auction, unless people are just really pricing it down. I mean, if you think it's clean, I would grade it. Send it in express if you think it's clean. Yeah, I mean, a flurry of deals did happen, but yeah, I think the deals that were going to happen, or the deals that happen, were the deals that were going to happen no matter what happened, like what, how crazy the NBA got, and then I think the Durant thing has kind of frozen up a lot of other stuff. Like Levine is probably held up because of Durant. Sexton probably is held up because of that one way or the other, and I'm sure there's some other deals. Remember when Luca Base Prism was 2K? I didn't see terms of the deal. I agree with this, having had experience with them. I see the other thing that PSA announced today, which I did not cover this in the video tomorrow. They are now grading star cards. So the Jordan 84 star card, PSA is grading again. A lot of people are flocking to. I mean, '90s isn't vintage, but Retired players, non-active players. Have they showed the optic design yet? And I missed it. Don't forget to gently tap the old like button. What are we at? 30 likes with 133 people in here. Tisk. Tisk. PSA is now grading star cards. They announced today. Yeah, we just got done talking about that one. I don't know that that moves the needle that much. I don't know why you would wait. Why wouldn't you grade them now? You want them already back and in hand graded to sell when he gets called up. You don't want to be waiting for him to call up. By the time he gets called up and you send them off the grade and get him back, the prices are already going to tank. I'd have to think about this. I wouldn't want to just throw names out there off the top of my head because I'll forget somebody. Yeah, I forgot to mention the star thing in the video tomorrow. Forgot all about that. $30. You could send NBA $30. You get it back in probably October. That's fine. Brady and Trask. I would almost PSA value service those at $30 because you're not in a hurry to get those back to flip. Uh oh. Yep. The porn bot. What other hobbies? So sports cards and comics, obviously. And then I haven't recently because I haven't had time because of all this nonsense. Prior to doing YouTube nonsense, I was a pretty big tabletop gamer. What's up, Global Sports Card Investor? Used to play quite a bit of video games too, but I just don't have the time anymore. I shouldn't say that. I still actually play a lot of video games. I don't play a lot of console games anymore. And my game playing is basically limited to MTG Arena and Dota on occasion. I try to get one Dota game in a day and get pissed at myself and want to throw something at the computer. But I have a very large board game collection. And I dabble in some Star Wars toys and stuff like that. I mean, like, obviously, I have, like, the Slave One and the Razor Crest back there and the Sentinel. I'm a sucker for this, like, massive nonsense that takes up tons of space and super expensive. I had my wife back the HasLab project for the Hiss tank for GI Joe that came out yesterday. That comes out in 2023. I was like, here's an easy Christmas gift for me next year. Just that Lillard's getting a boatload of money. I was never a Quake guy. As a kid, I played a lot of Hero Quest. Hero Quest was my jam when I was a kid. I agree. I don't think the Bradley Beal contract ends well either, to be honest. Oh, that really sucks, Global. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, I really tabletop wise, the last one that I played super seriously was Star Wars Legion, which is like Warhammer 40K but Star Wars. I played that extremely competitively for about a year or so. Um, I had won an invite to the Nationals in Chicago at Adepticon, but it was canceled because of COVID in March 2020, right at the beginning of COVID. I was supposed to fly to Adepticon to compete in that. Um, COVID shut that down, and then shortly after that, I started doing YouTube and fell off of Legion. I was playing a lot online too. I went in and out of Magic the Gathering a ton growing up. I still play. I mean, I'm a very active D&D player as well. I play in 2 D&D games a week. Day job, I'm an account manager, so like customer service. I travel around all day and visit my company's accounts. I'm on the road all day. Yes, Drew. I used to play a ton of NBA 2K back in the day. Me and my friends used to do an online league all the time. No, not for insurance. Healthcare related field, but not insurance. Risk on the phone is pretty good. I think it's Seattle or Carolina, to be honest. That's my best guess. Seattle or Carolina, unless someone gets hurt. Like if someone gets hurt in training camp or whatever, or something weird happens that someone needs a quarterback, then that's a different story. Uh, Baker's not staying, unfortunately. Just because something gets through authentication doesn't mean it's a 10. Just never been a big first person shooter guy. I got into Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 2. I played a metric ton on Xbox. I was working at Best Buy part time, and my friends and I This was, whenever Modern Warfare 2 came out, I still had my day job, and I worked at Best Buy in college, and I stayed on as occasional seasonal. So I would go back at Christmas and pick up like, I don't know, 6 shifts in the month of December just to keep the employee discount going because it was so good. But me and all my friends from Best Buy, we would run home from work on a Friday and Saturday night and just play Call of Duty till our eyes bled. I will be at. I'm planning on attending CC2's trade night next week. He's doing a trade night with. I talked to Fornos at. He tipped me off at the Midwest Monster, and they've announced this already since then. But Fornos, Roth, and Taxi are flying up to Columbus, Ohio for a combo trade night at Card Collector 2 shop next week. So I'm going to make the drive down for that and hang out down there for a little bit. I have never played Fortnite. Excuse me, get the hiccups. I have never played Fortnite. Sorry, I was just checking Twitter again, seeing if anything interesting happened. I haven't got any Woj bombs. I expect we're gonna get a flurry of news at midnight because that's when rookies can sign their extensions. Yeah, it should be fun times. The only problem with CC2 trade nights is they get so crowded it's almost hard to make deals. Yeah, and then he announced the one for the National too. That's going to be on Thursday, and it's at the actual convention center where the National is, and the room it's in is 3 times the size of the one that they had last year in Chicago. And the room that they had last year in Chicago was not small. But with it being on site, I have a feeling that that trade night is going to be packed as well. All right, ladies and gents, we're probably going to wrap up here. I've been going for a little over an hour, and I was not necessarily. Well, I was just going to kind of keep. If things kept happening, I would keep going. But no, I've been spending most of my money on comic books. Actually, I mean, obviously, I just bought all that stuff. The old X-Men 4 is sitting back in the back now. I put it up a little earlier today, hanging out back there. And I got a bunch of stuff. I bought 2 more books today, actually, on IG. Yeah, it's at the convention center. It's in a separate room. It's in a separate room. So, yeah, tomorrow's video is a spicy one. Probably, I'm sure it'll get people all fired up. It's grading company stuff that always gets the natives restless whenever you talk about the grading companies. And we'll see what happens. We will see what happens between now and then. We'll see when the but on the way out the door. When do we get the KD trade? Do we get it this weekend? Does this drag out, or do we get a KD trade quick? I think we get it sooner rather than later. And yes, hotel prices are absolutely insane. It's costing me $1,200 for 3 nights for the National, and I booked a while ago. I have no secret sauce. I just keep cranking out videos so the algorithm just puts them in front of people's faces. Yeah, that's I kind of think it's sooner rather than later too. I think they want to get it done so they can move on. Ooh, the Friday news dump. I like it. All right, smash the like button on your way out the door. I'm gonna smash this. I really don't know what this does. I'm gonna hit the insert ad button, and then get the heck out of here. So it's gonna play an ad real quick. You guys will all run away and close the window. It's fine. We will catch you guys and girls tomorrow for a little grading video, and then probably no video on Saturday unless something crazy happens. KD trade goes down or a bunch of other crazy nonsense happens. Maybe I'll crank something out. Test it. Well, okay. Now I'm reversing course because you brought this up. Damn it. Have you been to New York City Comic Con? Like, do you have a lot of experience going to NYC Comic Con, or anyone in chat? Do you have experience going to New York Comic Con? I never played Overpower or the Star Wars TCG. I am strongly. I don't want to. Strongly is too strong of words. That sounds kind of stupid. I am considering attending New York Comic Con this year, but I don't know any. I mean, I know about it. I know what it is. I'm clueless in regards to attending it and like rookie mistakes, essentially. I looked at tickets. It looked like Saturday was sold out, but Thursday, Friday, and Sunday tickets were available. But I don't know about like panels. I mean, I don't even know that I care to go on panels. I don't know that I care to go see, a movie trailer. I'm not one to wait in lines for a billion years. Yeah, if you have a lot of good info on New York City Comic Con, feel free to slide into my DMs on IG. I mean, anyone could DM me at any time on IG. I don't really care. I answer just about everything. But yeah, DM me on IG for any hot tips that you got on attending New York City Comic Con. Yeah, for sure. I don't know for sure it's going to happen this year. I might wait till next year. This is kind of a spur of the moment thing. But I'm passively entertaining the idea. I won't be set up at the National. I'll just be walking around. No booth for me at the National. All right, I'm going to hit this ad button. We will catch you guys and girls later. Worst case scenario, well, a grading video tomorrow, normal weekly update on Sunday. I don't know if I'll do a video for Monday or not with 4th of July. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right, you guys and girls have a good night. I'm going to hit this button. The only thing is I don't think this tells me when the ad's over, which is kind of dumb. So I'm just going to hit this. I assume unless, well, I guess if you have YouTube Premium, you're not getting an ad right now. So I'm actually still talking to you. But yeah, that's the old content schedule for the next couple days. More charts, David says. I do want to dive back into Prism football and see what that's been looking like in regards to secondary market pricing on singles. I don't know if I want to rip more wax or not. I did order some of those cellos off Target, so I have 6 cellos coming from Prism. So we'll be getting another Prism Light Money on Fire box break thing. Worst case scenario. So, all right, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. You guys and girls have a good night. Everyone have fun on KD Watch. Peace.